Okay, so what's your name and where are you from?
My name Tashawn Booker, Senior, from the west end of Louisville, Kentucky.
All right, so tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, what was your childhood growing up? What was your childhood like growing up?
Man, my childhood, very diverse, man, but I really like to mention about the love from my grandparents is what it was. It was a struggle because they had different agendas and the way that they wanted to raise, and not just my grandparents, but my mother also. But it was a struggle, man. They was trying to figure out, navigate through life, as we went, and very protected, especially from my grandmother. Boy, she used to tell me all the time, "Don't trust nobody. Don't trust nobody."
Yeah.
She didn't care who it was, what it was. It's not your friend. Don't trust them.
Yeah,
And hey, those are words to live by, man.
definitely, man. So, man, since I know you, man, I know you always been hustling. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, like since I seen you, I know like even knowing you, I met you like years ago, over 20 years ago, and man, you seem like you've always been grinding, always been getting it. Whether you working a job, whether you're doing, side work, whatever it is that you're doing. So, like, what was your first hustle to ever make money? Like when you just was like, I got to get out here and get it. Like, what was your first
Well,
hustle?
I don't know if I would say I had a first hustle, like per se myself, but I was always around hustlers.
Okay.
Right? Like entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Like everybody around me had some type of business going on and needed help. Even from like my first job, it was a lady across the street, like a corner store across the street from where I grew up at. She had me in her bagging groceries at like 10 years old.
Yeah.
I would come over, go into the store runs for my grandmother, and she'd be like, "Hey, you want a job? You want to come in here and work for me? Paying me $25, $50 a week. So that was kind of where I started to understand that you had to work for what you want. Ain't nobody gonna give it to you, but you had to work for it.
That's what's up, man. So how old was you when you?
I was about 10 years old when I
10 years
first
old starting that, man. Dang, that's crazy, man. So when did I know you got a few different things that you do as far as like entrepreneurial? So when did you realize that you wanted to start your journey as more of an entrepreneur?
Man, like I said, it was kind of like that's where I was led from. Like I said, that lady that her name was Miss Gloria. She had me working in the store. To my neighbors, they had lawn care service, so I was still a pup doing lawn care with them. And my uncles, they owned game rooms. Used to be a game room in Park Hill. Used to have us working there and selling clothes. And then they was masons also, bricklayers. So I worked with them doing that. My mentor, kind of slash father figure, he was in real estate. He worked a 9 to 5 and had real estate on the side. So that's where a lot of it started coming together for me, that you could work a 9 to 5 and do stuff on the side. Like he did. He worked all day long, and we was his laborers. He had a different angle because he was his own contractor.
Yeah.
So, but we was his laborers. Like he would work, go to work at his job at 3 o'clock in the evening, but 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock we was remodeling the house somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's always been around me, man. As people just grinding. My grandfather, he used to do like sell cars and stuff. Like he always was a hustler. Like what I'm saying,
So
he didn't.
hustling been running deep in the family.
Yeah, it runs deep. Like
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So let me ask you this, man. Like, what was your first legit like business that you ever just opened? Anything that you first thing
First
that you did?
legit, probably the lawn care. It was a lawn care, between lawn care and like the real estate side of things.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
where I started at.
All right. And so have you had like when you first started off, like was it just like peachy and cream? Was it
Oh
just
no,
like
no! It ain't it at all.
Yeah.
It ain't it at all. Especially with the real estate, because you get in positions to where you try to look out for people. But people, my grandmother told me, don't trust nobody. You don't understand that until
What
you go
about
through
family?
it. Family too. Shit, that's most important. Shit, that's the main ones you don't want to trust. Like to this day, man, I still ain't gonna rent the family. Nah, I can't do it because I ain't trying to be put in a position to where we gonna fall out at all. You know, you gotta learn to separate that business and personal, man.
Yeah.
You gotta learn to separate that.
Definitely, man. And so, you know, with all the stuff you got going on, are you married? Do you have any kids?
I am married, working on making it a happy, blissful marriage, right?
Yeah.
We've been married for 15 years. Been
Congrats,
together, appreciate it. Been together for like 26 and some change. We got 3 kids together, a 25-year-old son, a 20-year-old son, and an 18-year-old daughter.
Hey, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Good stuff, man. So, what are some of the things that you do today for income? So, like, you know, I know you've done a lot. You said you've done the grass cutting, you've done the real estate, all of it. Like, what are some of the things that you do for income? Like, what are some of your I guess, ventures that you are dabbling in right now?
Right now, I would say, let's start off with probably where I spend my most time because I had to go down the list. Like, I do have a 9 to 5, well, kind of more of like a 11 to 7. So I clock in at a place just about every day.
Okay.
A lot of people believe that, you know, entrepreneurship, you just got to jump out there and go. But, man, you got to take advantage of these other companies, right, and build off of what they give you. That's the main thing. And then I also have a firearms instruction company. I'm a firearm instructor. Teaching safety and the law is the main thing. That's where I'm spending a lot more of my time at now, especially with the warm weather coming around. A lot of people want to come out and shoot. I have our own private range. About 40 minutes from her that I'm really trying to focus on teaching more out there, and a classroom that I have. The classroom is another part of what I do. It's doubles as an event space. So when I'm not using it, it's for rent for anybody that want to, whatever they want to do, parties, baby showers. I've had a guy even just use the place, just propose to his girlfriend, right? So this is one of the business ventures, and everything that I focus on is down here in the West End. Like I said, I'm from the West.
Definitely.
You know, so I'm trying to focus and keep. It's hard because our people's is a struggle sometimes, but I'm trying to focus on keeping a lot of movement down here, positive movement. So the lawn care, not the lawn care, I'm sorry. The firearms training is busy right now. And it goes to, like I said, the event space, gives a lot of positive time. The lawn care, we kind of on hold right now. We transitioning, trying to get away from lawn care because it took up a little too much time to get into more bigger jobs with like small equipment. So we're gonna start focusing on more like driveway repairs and kind of, we got some equipment, some things lined up for that too, right? And then real estate. I save that for last because that's passive, right? I don't have to spend a lot of time doing that, and as long as everything is good, that money's going to come in every month.
So you mentioned that you do firearms training. Like, Tashawn, what got you into doing firearms training? Like, and I know it's different with America. You know, you're a black guy doing fire instructors. Like, what is it? I mean, doing firearm instruction. Like, what got you in it, and like how did you even start that journey?
It was really a growth process. I really started out wanting to protect myself. A lot of the jobs that I have had, it kind of tied into because I've been trainers in those jobs. Like even back when we first met, and you know, I was a trainer at that place, and in my current job, I train people. So when I got into the firearms side of things, I started to see how unsafe a lot of people was. I wasn't sure about it myself, but I learned, right? And then I seen how many other people needed to know what I needed to know. But it wasn't many people out here teaching it. And it was like, well, you know, hey, I feel like I have this gift as far as teaching because I did it for them. So why not do it for myself? And then it's just grown and grown, like, right? So it started out just trying to get some more knowledge for myself, and then I seen how our people need it, but a lot of people need it because it's not just us, but the information's out there, but sometimes it just takes the right person to give the information. I'm trying to be that plug.
With me, I know with my wife, I think the old saying is that it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
but some people are just terrified of guns. Like, do you offer any type of training that can just, let people know? Because I think some people think as soon as you pick a gun up, it's just going to go off and it's going to hurt somebody or it's going to hurt them. Like, what type of advice would you give somebody who's looking to get in?
Man, it's just the information's out there, right? Like I said, I want to be that plug to be able to give people information, because just because you go in the store, any gun store or pawn shop that people go to and buy guns, they're a gun owner, but are you handling that gun safely, right? These gun stores, they don't care about you. You just $1. It's just like going into a Nike store and buying a tennis shoe. They're just good to make the sale. They don't care about how you use that running shoe. Are you using that running shoe for basketball? Like, right? Like, there's certain things that you're supposed to use what you have for. And the same thing with guns. They go into a gun store and you buy a gun, you just another number and $1. They don't really care about the training aspect of it. So it's about finding the proper training, finding somebody. Just because they've been carrying a gun a long time don't mean they qualified, right? To know, to tell you something too, right? They may be, but you got to be able to vet people. But there are qualified instructors out there that go through the training. You got to keep up with a certain amount of training every year. Those are the people you need to look for to understand what you should and shouldn't do. Because a beginner, you don't know. I really recommend you go to an instructor before you even buy that gun. But some people like to buy the gun first and then do it and realize it's not the gun for them. Because then they go to a class or something and realize, like, oh man, this don't fit me at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the proper channel and getting the right knowledge. Finding you a solid instructor. Finding you a solid instructor.
That's it.
And then getting the information from her, and to make you a lot more comfortable.
Definitely. And what you said makes a lot of sense, because when my wife was kind of nervous about guns, I got these small guns that I felt like would fit her hand, and they were I felt like they were appropriate for it. But every time she shot these guns, I ran through about 3 guns and had to sell them back just because like they didn't really fit her. And so, I know getting the training, like I done went and got my concealed carry permit or whatever, but does it stop there? Like, what do you offer training like outside of that? Like, because like sometimes I carry my gun like a lot. I carry my gun a lot, right? And so what type of things should I be prepared for? Because I know sometimes you just wonder, like, would you freeze up in a situation? Would you do you offer any type of like classes for those, like extended training and stuff like that?
I do. That's where the outdoor range I was mentioning, that's where it comes into play. Of course, I do go to indoor ranges because some people feel safer going to indoor. I'm not going to push them to do something they don't feel safe doing, comfortable doing. But to have a gun, it is the safety handling aspect of it that a lot of people miss. Because even going through that classroom training for your concealed carry, I mean, it's the same thing. Once you're done, you get your permit, the instructor don't really reach back out to you. Then that's when it's up to you to be the responsible party to move forward, right? To see what else knowledge is out there and to get. So I do offer like basic one-on-one classes for somebody that's looking into buying firearms, but then I also build off of that to firearms 101 and 102, and it's just levels, right? We start working from holsters, because if you're carrying it, you got to be safe with it, right? You got to make sure you're carrying it the right way, which is going to be in a proper holster. People don't understand that. They the ones just stick it in their pocket. No, that's not it. That's how accidents happen, right? And then just how to handle the firearm, the safety aspect of it, finger off the trigger, pointing down range, not pointing at people. Like, yeah, you heard that in class, but it's repetition. Muscle memory. You got to beat that in some people's head, and that's what that extended training looks like, all the way up to target acquisition, right? If you get in a self-defense situation, can you hit the target? Like, I went through a class and I shot that piece of paper 20 times, but okay, let's say 6 months or a year down the road, you get in a situation. Can you hit that target that you're trying to defend yourself from? Most likely you can't, because you ain't shot since then, right? So you got to get out there and practice to be accurate, right? To understand the law. Also, we do a lot of law talk in the classes also. But it's just about that safety aspect of it to keep building from.
And we're not gonna go to this. We ain't gonna go through this too deep right now. But I know one of the things for me that I was confused about was just even what type of ammo to carry and stuff. And I think you probably cover a lot of those types of things in the class. But like I'm just saying, there's so many different aspects of like responsibilities, I guess, in carrying a gun. And so, yeah, like we thank you for your training. We thank you for all the stuff that you're doing. And then, you know, I know at the end of this video, we'll also just kind of show people where to get your information from. And I know like from all the stuff I know about you, I know you're well informed with your stuff and you care about people. Is why we even doing this interview right now. So, but yeah, so let's go on and stuff. And so let's talk a little bit about the real estate aspect of it. So how was it just getting your first property? Like, you know, one to rent, well, even first, just even getting your first house to even live in, like, how was that?
To be honest, the first one wasn't that hard of a process because, like I said, I did have a mentor to help me. You know, it was my instructor. Like, you know, telling you about firearms, having an instructor, the right information, you know, he was able to help me make that a smooth transition. But that was just the beginning phase. Like I just purchased it, now what, right? But we do believe in buying whole versus, you know, selling.
Okay.
But you got to go through that process of vetting tenants. That's where the struggle comes in. That's the struggle. The purchase a house and remodel a house, that's the easy part. As long as you got good quality people to do the job. But once you get into renting to people, there's a whole nother side of it, dog. That's a side nobody tell you about. How to deal with people, right? We thinking that, you know, I got to interview a person, I can run a background check, I'm good, but you don't know how that person's going to act 2 o'clock in the morning whenever something freezes over or, you know, anything happen.
Definitely.
You know, so that's the hard part. That was the hardest part.
Yeah, and I thank you because, like, even in our journey, me and my wife's journey, I think you've been real pivotal in just helping us to understand, like, we've been able to learn from some of the mistakes and some of the things that you have learned along the way, too. So I think it helped us a lot in that. So, yeah, we definitely appreciate that.
To add on to that, like, even though I said the process of the tenant process is good, I don't want to mislead by saying we purchase was easily, but the remodel can be a process too, right? Because you do have to have quality contractors, you know, and that's another part of it that you got to vet people because people will not show up and do what they say they're gonna do. You know, you got to pay for a service that you hoping somebody say I could do this in a timely manner. They might not. You know, it may be one guy show up talking about he gonna drywall your whole house and you want to have it done in a week. You know he ain't gonna have it done if he shows up at all. So that's a big part of it too. Just following, getting solid contractors on your team. I say that now because I feel like we do, but it took a while to get her. It took a while.
Definitely, I appreciate that advice too. So what would you say to somebody who's looking to get into any of these types of paths as far as just jumping out and being an entrepreneur? Would you say just, you know, just jump head first into it, or would you, you know, what type of advice would you give somebody?
I'm not going to say jump head first, man. It's like the firearm stuff. Like the knowledge is out there. You got to seek the knowledge. I am a firm believer, again, of having a 9-to-5 and letting that job, per se, fund that dream. Right, if you have to clock in or whatever that main hustle is, that consistent income, right, having that to build on for everything passive that you want. So don't be afraid of thinking, oh man, I gotta go work for this company. You don't look at it, maybe look at it a little different. You're working for that company to build what you want because it's still gonna cost you to keep that afloat, right?
Definitely.
Even with the real estate, people's gonna move out, all right, you still gotta pay that mortgage if you ain't, you know, blessed enough to buy cash for it or whatever the situation may be. So you still got to keep things afloat. So you still got to have that income. Take your time, right? Don't rush. You are going to have to set time limits because of your overhead, right? You don't want projects to linger too long because you're losing money. It takes too long. But you got to be able to take your time and make sure you're making the right decisions along the way. Find somebody that knows it. And if you got to pay somebody to help you, to mentor you, pay somebody, right? Vet that person too, but there's people out there that feel like, you know, I could charge to teach whatever class it is, I give you some information. Don't take that person for granted. Even if you got somebody that may be giving you a lot of information, you know, whatever the situation may be. But look for somebody that has been down that road before to help you out.
Definitely. And so I know you're a family man. I know you love your family.
Big on family.
Like, so
big on family.
What type of message, like, you know, just letting us hear it, because I know you talk to your kids all the time, but what type of message would you give to your kids, just like as they watch this video and, you know, as time goes on, like, what type of message would you?
I am very big on family. Like we are very connected. My wife and 3 kids. Like we was just all out to dinner last night. At this age, at that grown age of them, you know, we still are able to sit down and enjoy each other's company wholeheartedly, right? Joking, laughing, serious moments, and all that. Like to this day, but if I had a message to give them, that anything that they dream of or imagine, like that's God giving you that ability to do that, right? Like if you think that you see something that you want, like an imagination, like it's God giving you an imagination. He's also giving you the opportunity to go out there and do it. So if you can see it, you can do it, right? Like that vision is not out of this world. It's actually in your world. It's just up to you to go get it.
Definitely.
Go get it.
Definitely, man. So, where can people find you at? I know you got a lot of different things that you do, but where can somebody find you at? And we'll also put a link down in the description of this video as well.
Okay.
So, but where can people find you at?
I am working on a website, so I don't have a website yet for the firearm instructing, but I am over social media. Of course, Facebook is my name, Tashawn Booker Senior. Instagram, it's tbooker_senior.
Okay.
That's where I post a lot of my firearms training at. So if you want to look at the firearm side of things, that's where it is. The name of the firearm company is Defense by the Books. Books, you know, try to put it together. Defense by the Books. I also have a Facebook page on that, so you can keep up with that part of it too. Email me, my name, Tashawn Booker. Booker at Defense by the Books is the email, and then my phone number. Best way to get in touch with me. Even with the events page, just call me directly.
Definitely. And so, look, one more question I'm going to throw in here real quick, right?
What's up?
So, me knowing you, man.
Go Cards.
I love you. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I love it. But
I didn't know that was coming.
Me knowing you, I got to ask you this, though, man.
What's up?
Like, you always stay fly, man. Every time I see you got your cowboy boots on, you got your fatigue, your camouflage and stuff on, you always, like, rock a country look and stuff. And so, like, what really got you into that? Especially as being, like, just a black kid growing up in the West End, like, you know, I feel like some people from out of town might think that, you know, just Kentucky people are just like super country and stuff a lot. But I feel like you kind of fit that. You do a lot of like, you know, the boots and all of those types of things. And so what kind of got you into that type of stuff?
So my grandmother is from the country, from Camden, Kentucky. It's down around Hodgenville. Again, like I said, growing up used to kind of be a struggle to us. So that was vacation. When we went back home, that was vacation. And I had a great uncle that had the farm. My family had land and everything down there. And I used to go down there, man, had the best time of my life, man. So growing up around that, I mean, like staying down there, like, you know, just drop me off down there. I'll be, you know, come back and get me, you know. That was part of it. And then my grandfather is a big influence on me too, as far as putting it together. Like, that side of it, the country hats and the boots, the work gear, that was my great uncle. But granddaddy, man, Sebo, boy, he was a mom. Boy, dude, he was country. He had country ways, but he was also a city guy. So he was sharp, no matter where you caught him at.
Yeah.
So I just kind of put it together, man, and, you know, just kind of growth and just kind of like, you know what, when you feel like you're established, man, you gotta look the part, right?
Yeah,
right,
man. And so you got it all. Like you got the country, then you got the grill and stuff. That ain't a pullout, is it?
No, man. No. That's the city side of it. I told you I'm West End.
Yeah, that's
you know, West End born and raised.
Got a little bit of everything to go with it, man. That's what's
It's very diverse, man. I was blessed to be very diverse growing up.
Yeah. Well, Tashawn, man, I appreciate you, man. You know, we've been rolling for a minute, man.
A long time.
I appreciate you, man, for getting it in, being my first person that I'd have interviewed like this, and hopefully there's many more to come. But man, I appreciate you taking time out of your day, man.
No
and I ain't gonna hold you, man. Go and be with your family. I seen the wife said she about to get you some pieces.
Yeah, look, I got one comment for you.
Go ahead.
Man, I listened to Don Tripp.
Okay.
Right? and I might have said this to you already, but in one of his songs, he says, "The best rest I have gotten is in my barber chair." If you know, you know. If you know, you know.
Yeah, definitely, man. Appreciate you, man.
Nah, appreciate you, dog.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
Yes, sir,
for sure.
man. And we'll be rapping at you, man. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this, and yeah, you know, feel free to leave comments down in the comment sections, and just to ask about anything, and then also like I'll be shooting you some links to all of the places that you can find Tashawn at, and so yep. So we appreciate you, man. And until the next
sir.
video, we are out.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.